Just Martin 91, and today I'm talking to you guys still about the MCU here. 13 days till Endgame, still going on. And today I'm also covering Guardians of the Galaxy, the ninth movie in the MCU franchise, chronologically, basically. Uh, Wait a second. Yeah, oh shit, well, I guess this feels better. I'm a bit of a nerd. And for this one, I went out got the jacket for Star Lord. I'm a big fan of a lot of characters in the MCU. He's one of them, and basically, ever since the first one came out, that was the biggest surprise I had. I'm going to be nerding out on this one a little bit. Honestly, Guardians. A lot of people, I don't know if they saw coming for how big it was, but basically, it was the biggest risk the MCU took. These guys were an underdog team that no one really knew about aside from if you read the comics, and they were actually kind of new to the horizon too. As far as I know, like they first came on in 2008 or 2009 or something like that, and the movie came out in 2014, and basically it ties a lot of things up. It actually broke a lot of walls. It was the first franchise that actually took us into space aside from Thor, and actually it was a full-fledged thing because, I mean, we were barely on Earth as it is. It was mentioned a lot because Peter Quill, the main character, Star-Lord, he is actually from Earth and has been abducted when he was a child, and because of that, he has issues that he has to deal with. Basically, he grew up there, and because of that, he's going through a lot of emotional turmoil and problems, and then it just all gets built up in the story. And basically, the story is about how he gets acquainted with all these guys who have one mission on stopping Ronan the Accuser from destroying the world that they're on with the Power Stone. This is a new Infinity Stone that gets introduced right after Thor: The Dark World here. As I said, basically the original movie, Thor 2 ended with the Reality Stone getting taken to the Collector, and same as in that point, basically these guys go to the Collector with the Power Stone, and well, with something containing the Power Stone before they even know what's on their hands, and then it's revealed to be the Power Stone. But it's kind of like one of those things that it basically has so much power that it induces so much that we can't even. And aside from it, basically the whole universe down the line, Thanos wants all these stones. That's the point of it, and that's where Infinity War got us. And Endgame is going to be kind of a reverse of all that. Now, I did forget to say spoiler warnings and stuff like that in the beginning of this review, and honestly, I'm sorry if, you fell into that. But I mean, I did say it in the very beginning of all the reviews, and if you followed it at all, then, I mean, it was there. And I'm wearing the jacket, so I mean, at this point, it's like, yeah, honestly, it's one of my favorite Marvel movies out there. I liked it a little bit better than I liked Guardians 2, and I think a lot of people would agree on that. Retrospectively, I call it Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, and I mean, it kind of makes sense with Volume 3 coming up in a couple years, and Volume 2 basically out now. It just made sense. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 takes place a couple months after the first one, even though the Avengers came out right after this one in release order. So I'm going to be doing the Guardians 2 review tomorrow, and I'm going to be leading up to the Avengers with the subsequent titles that basically I've been leaving out so far, because there are other titles in Phase 2 before Avengers, so we'll be getting there shortly. But I'm doing all of them in chronological release, as I said before. Yeah, it's a really fun part of the franchise, I believe. Like, they take themselves really seriously. The whole thing's basically a joke. Like, it's one joke after another, and honestly, it's so well done. I don't know how much of it is improv, but there's probably a lot of it in there. And the soundtrack is amazing. I didn't even get into the soundtrack yet, and I'm so deep into this review. I'm sorry, guys. I'm yammering on about this. But yeah, no, I could not recommend these enough. And honestly, if you haven't seen the Guardians ones in this franchise, please do yourself a favor and do so. They're really important in the future of the Avengers movies. Not 1 and 2 so much as 3 and 4. They are very equivalent in the MCU franchise. They're the past, they're the present, and they'll definitely be the future. I cannot wait to see what else they're going to be doing with these guys and how they're going to be expanding. There is so much more that these guys can offer us. The Guardians, the MCU, and in general. I cannot wait to see